may hate dealing with your insurance company, be it car insurance or now health insurance, but I can guarantee that this could be the worst insurance company ever. A man named Andre Carrasco sued Adriana's insurance services because they had alleged that during an argument over an insurance cancellation, that an agent physically assaulted him by removing him from an office. Now, Carrasco reached a settlement with the company last week, and they delivered part of the settlement in the form of a check. The rest was, and you guessed it, a bucket of change. 17 buckets to be exact. Now, this is according to the 76-year-old hernia patient's lawyer, Antonio Gallo. Yes, Andre Carrasco recently had surgery for hernia. So that's what makes this especially insulting. Gallo's assistant noted that 8 people had come into the lobby and dropped off nearly $20,000 in coins and left. Now, they don't exactly know if it was $20,000 because nobody has been able to count it all. There are literally buckets full of just pennies. Now, I want to get to you guys. What do you guys think about this change?
Well, for me, if it had been like a 20 or 30-year-old who kind of made the complaint and won the lawsuit and had kind of won all that money, then paying it in coins, it's a dick move, but it is quite funny. But the fact is that, 72, 73-year-old guy, the fact he had a hernia operation, I don't think that's neither here nor there, because the insurance company doesn't necessarily know anything about that. That just adds to the pain, sort of thing. They should feel even more bad about themselves. But I think it's just the context of the story that makes it bad. Overall, I don't think it's necessarily like an evil thing to do. Personally, if it was one of my friends and I kind of owed them £500 and they expected me to pay them back, I'd be tempted to pay back in like 10p pieces and 5p pieces, just because it'd be quite funny to see them struggle with it. But as I said, it's an old guy who's just had an operation. Yeah, he should probably try suing them again and get some more money, which they have to then pay in a check or something instead.
For sure. And that's sort of the funny thing, is if they're not going to, is if they don't take the coins back and actually pay him the way that he's supposed to, they're going to look at suing them again. Now, they've already sued them once. You're going to actually give this guy fodder to sue you again? It's crazy.
It's money. That's cool. I think to me, this story's always funny when somebody pays a company like this. But when a company just decides I'm gonna dick a customer over, it's kind of like, oh, it kind of hurts when the shoe's on the other foot. But it's worse because a company, if you do that as a person, you're awesome. And what are you gonna do? What is the company gonna do to you after that? If you do that as a company, you might lose customers because you're gonna get really hurt, and they're gonna give you 300 pounds of change and tell you to go to the store or go to the bank and do that. Which, by the way, old people like to do anyway. I mean, if you've ever been in a bank, it's all old people there, all with rolls of pennies. This guy probably has a Coinstar machine in his house, but that's besides the point. He doesn't want to.
Bank? Florida? What the hell are you talking about?
What?
I said, where do you bank? In Florida? What the hell are you talking about?
If you go to any bank, when I go to the bank, I'm the only one under 25, or my bad, under 95. That's inside the bank when I go inside. So I don't know what you're talking about. You see young people, 18-year-olds going in the bank to count.
All right. So we're derailed on the whole bank.
That's not the point. The point is, ironically, this guy got the hernia because he was lifting coins at the bank. So it's insult to injury.
Okay, first of all, that's unsubstantiated, but let's go with Jordan here.
Yeah, I am not as up in arms about this, I guess, as you guys are, and the reason being, this still is a company screwing over a company. We're leaving out the major obvious detail here. They didn't drop off all this change at the gentleman's home. They dropped it off at his lawyer's office. The lawyer is upset that he has to deal with all this change, and he's being a lawyer and making it out like making it out to be this, this big ordeal where they're, coming after it, and he's getting great PR and making his case.
Not quite, Jordan. There's a statement from Carrasco. He says, quote, Adriana's Insurance, is this the way you treat everyone? Why don't you like your clients? Well, I would argue because they don't have to like your clients.
No, but that's my point. They said that after they dropped the money. The lawyer's like, oh, see how much you hate your clients whenever the lawyer has all this money in his office. They didn't drop it off at the guy's house. The lawyer's... You telling me that the lawyer can't, if he really cares about this old, person with a hernia or whatever, that he can't go get this money or whatever? No, he's mad because whenever he goes to take his cut, he's going to have to take it and change. That's what he's mad about.
I've changed my opinion. I agree with Jordan. Digging over lawyers is fun.
No, you do make a good point about the lawyer. Of course, the lawyer is mad about that.
Okay.
I think there's grounds for both to be mad because it's a dick move. I mean, if you're gonna. Look, it's funny, but it's also a dick move.
Okay, I want to jump in on this because I'm a little concerned. I mean, it is funny for sure, and I think they're copying Stephen Colbert, because when Jimmy Fallon started his show, he's like, everyone owes me $100, needs to go up, and all these people show up. Stephen Colbert comes with a bucket of coins and dumps it on him. So that was they're just copying Stephen Colbert. So Stephen should have copyrighted that, but the reason this is a little worrying to me, I mean, granted, have to be a hell of a lot of market deregulation for this to happen, is if they're willing to do it in coins, how long do you think it'll take them for them to do it in other means, like gift cards, Canadian Tire? Oh, you don't have a Canadian Tire money, yeah. You don't have Canadian Tire, but like other sort of non-monetary but valued items. Again, have to be a hell of a lot of market deregulation, but it's a little insulting and a little worrying. So I think there should be some concern tossed into this, even though it is a funny story.
Yeah, because you make a good point. Because whenever you require something to be purchased, this would be car insurance. You open the door for people to be in the markets to be dicks. I mean, I think this would be a good argument for. For like a customer bill of rights, something like that. Basically.
Nah, it's legal tender, man. You like.
It's move. What? Okay, so I understand that so it's money and everything, and some people will be like, well, it's money. At least they paid me, but it's an insult, is what it is too, because.
Well, guess what? That's freedom of speech. You can insult people in America. That's perfectly legal.
Can I just add to point out Nick's point? Legal tender laws prevent them from using gift cards or cigarettes or anything like that.
Which is why I said there'd have to be a hell of a lot of market deregulation before we'd ever get to that point. So I'm well aware that there's legal tender laws in place for that.
But that's what makes this funny, is that the legal tender law says that pennies and coins and all these low amounts of money are legal tender for all that's public and private. So technically it's illegal.
You guys haven't phased out the penny yet?
Nope.
Kidding me.
It's legal to pay everything in pennies.
Oh my god.
Jordan is right. This is 100% legal, and it's 100% fine. I mean, you can insult. You're allowed to insult your customers this way, but I can't imagine running a good business model doing this sort of thing. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where they can do this. It's funny, but it's also really kind of an asshole dick move. I think it's ultimately something like this will probably hurt their business, or could hurt their business, could impact their business, all the negative press about it. And you know what? I hope the guy sues them again.